been DJing since I was about, must have been 15. And then, you know, got a lot of influences off my mum, I suppose, where she knew a lot of the jazz people, Cleo Lane, Johnny Dankworth, the old jazz cats, and the rave thing. I mean, I come in the shop in 1990, and obviously it's a lot different then to now, but it was, you could say, the beginnings of what's going on now, you know, especially like the jungle thing. You had you know, people at that point there, that was beginning of the British breakbeat thing, the early British breakbeat thing, which then, I mean, it wasn't all spun off and it was all one big thing, you know. So I suppose when I come in the shop here, it used to be up, it was funny because I used to battle, because there never used to be any of these loads of decks across the counter. It used to be just the main deck up there, and there used to be Stafford and Ashley Beadle and me, and we used to fight all the time to get to man the decks of who's going to play what. You know, me obviously with my breakbeat thing, with the, you know, you could say the early hardcore, you know, that start to, you know, and then you had Ashley Beadle wanted to play his garage and the house stuff, and you know, we're battling it out, and Stafford, and we're all battling it out to play what we're going to play on the on the decks. Like I say, there weren't none of these decks across here like this, so everyone had to wait for the main deck on at the top, you know. So it was fun days. It was fun days. Bit heated sometimes, but fun. 92, we decided to put. As you now know it as drum and bass or jungle, back then early breakbeat hardcore. 92 we decided to put the music downstairs. The hip hop and the soul and the funk and all that weren't really financially meeting ends, so we decided bring that up here, put the, as you know, hardcore breakbeat, you know, downstairs. The rest is history. You know.
What was it like being involved in the centre of something that was, say, 1990, it was just bubbling up, to then jungle becoming a massive nationwide phenomenon that sort of took over? I mean, things like M-Beat and General Levy going on top of the pops and things like that just kind of broke it nationwide.
Oh, I mean, just everything from that just living, no, you could say you're living the dream. It was just the whole, because you're helping create what's going on. It was a British musical movement. It was obviously, like you're saying, you have your people that have a commercial hit, but still, and they're still great on the underground, you know. So sorry, it's like you know, you live in. It's like you're helping create what's going on, and the pirate radio was very powerful at the time. Do you know what I mean? You had, I mean, I was, when I was on Pulse FM. First of all, I was on Friends FM. That's where I really, you could say, I began my radio thing at Friends FM, which was like the acid house era. Then went on to Pulse FM, which was like the hardcore era, and then Cool FM, which was the jungle, you know, with Stevie IPD, God rest his soul. So yeah, I mean, it was great because people coming from especially then, there was no internet. There weren't no internet, so people would come spend the weekend from wherever they're from, come over here, spend the weekend here, get the tapes, because it was tapes back then, get the tapes ready and record wherever they are in a hotel or a friend's house or whatever, and then record the radio sessions. It's just, you know, and then they'd come in here Monday morning or whatever and want the tunes. It's great, yeah.
How did your relationship with Stevie come about? You did such a strong pairing team.
Yeah, we first, what did we back up? You know, it's not yesterday. It's like we first started. Where was it? We started Raw Club. That was, I think, the big, you know, when we bucked up in Raw Club in was in Tottenham Court Road. It was on a Sunday night. Big jungle big jungle night on a Sunday night. It'd be rammed on a Sunday. It's like, but every club at that point there was phenomenal, you know.
Stevie's style was really innovative, is it? And something that I can hear now and kind of people.
Of course, exactly. I mean, his voice, as you know, everybody looked up to him. You know, still, you know, to this day, you know. I mean, his voice is so distinctive, and his style, he could just switch a style, you know, which is great. And it was a crowd pleaser. That's what it's all about. Singing, and then they'd sing back. It was, you know.
His passing when he died must have been quite.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I mean, it was. You know, it's a gap, and it still is a gap. You know, never be forgotten though. You know.
I used to come here a lot when I was sort of 17, 18. I'm coming down from Birmingham and coming in, and I really felt like walking in here and seeing you downstairs was like you could get into the heart of the jungle scene. It's just as a fan, as a raver. I mean, how did the shop function in that respect for the jungle scene? Was it the epicentre that everyone came here to get their records? And
it basically, it's the flagship. It was the flagship for the scene. You know, everybody brought their tunes in here. They'd have, let's say, you know, might have a little run of the first lot of promos. We'd have the first lot of promos of, let's say, a 200 run would come in. They'd drop them in here. We'd do the promo run for the DJs from here. All the DJs would come in, and you know, like Thursday would be a big promo day, and all the, you know, the DJs, the label runners, who run the label, and the producers, they'd all come in with the box of records. Everybody'd be waiting here. Like I say, it was the flagship for the scene. There weren't no internet or nothing back then. You wanted the tunes, you'd have to come in here at the right time to pick them up, otherwise they're gone. That's it. You know, until that gets released, and that's, you know, everyone wanted the tune on white label, you know, before it, pre-release, before it comes out. This was the place to get, you know, this was, you know.
You used to keep the promos underneath the counter.
Oh yes. That's it, yeah. You know, there'd only be a few. We'd slip it on the deck, right, we've only got a few of these. Play all the hands up, be like shuffling across the counter like cards. Yeah, great days. Great days. So like I say, it was a pinnacle of the scene. Everyone would come in, everybody would come in, and you know, even just, you know, get the tickets, get the rave tickets, or tape packs as it was back then, or have a chat or whatever. This is like the epicentre of the scene. People come in and want to know what's going on, basically.
Yeah, it really felt like the heart of something.
That's it. Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
important being here.
yeah. And that's, you know, obviously the whole internet thing. You could moan about it, and you know, it's got its good parts and its bad parts. But obviously, like I say, back then there weren't no internet, and this was, you had to come in, and everything was live and direct. You know, someone would come in, brand new release on whatever label. Well, it wouldn't be released. It'd be like they'd have a promo run of a couple of hundred. They'll give us like 3-4 boxes. Also, we'd do, like I say, we'd do the promo run. We'd give all the DJs like mail outs. They'd do it from here. This is where it all began. Before the distributors, you know, and we'd get them, and all the DJs are coming for their promos, and great times. Yeah.
So what does the future hold for jungle? It's one of those scenes that's always kind of been there. It's kind of a strong underground scene that has like a loyal following and a
You just said
passage
it,
for
the word underground. And no matter how you see that, you've got people that cross over and make it in the mainstream, but the music, the jungle, the drum and bass is always going to survive because it's got the underground element. And no matter, all through the years, I've seen it, someone will crop up and cross over, and you've got a lot of people that still got credibility on the underground as well as crossing over. You know, you're always going to get the underground element, and whatever goes on, it goes up like some other underground scenes that have progressed and become commercial, and they've peaked, and then they've died off, and you've got drum and bass jungle that's it's staying there, and it's I think, I don't know, it's peaked, but it's just there. It's like the tortoise and the hare. That's the way I look at it, you know. It's a British musical movement. It's not a white thing, black thing. It's our thing, made by us for us, and it's what it's gonna survive. It'll go underground. It's still underground, and like I say, you're gonna get elements that people that do cross over, but majority stay underground, and that's how it will survive. Hey,